How's it going, my friends? Welcome to another To the Twin Cities live show. I stopped counting probably about 2 ago, so 6, 7, something like that. Today, we're talking Woodbury, Minnesota. This will aim to be a continuation of, but I guess everything you need to know about living in Woodbury, Minnesota. We are trying to do this on pretty much everything that we make a virtual tour for, which is just about the whole metro. We strive to make a companion live that goes alongside all of these places. Today we're talking Woodbury. Woodbury is a very sought after place. It's got a lot going for it. Tremendous schools, beautiful homes, all of the suburban amenities. And yeah, excited to dive in. As always, my name is Jesse Lynch. I run the hardest working real estate team in the game. We're called To the Twin Cities, as is this YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. This channel is all about helping you find a place to call home, a place to land in the Twin Cities, whether you are moving here from a different city, state, country, planet, dimension, universe, realm, multiverse, whatever. Or just buying a house for the first time, or just buying a house in general. That's very much what this YouTube channel is here for. So if any of that appeals to you, then do me a favor, do yourself a favor, do these guys a favor. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified every time we put a video out. You'll get notified when we put these lives out, which, by the way, is every Tuesday at what day is today? Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central. So hopefully that means our East Coast friends who are moving here can watch, as well as our West Coast friends. And thanks for being here. If you are interested in working with us, you can reach out directly to the team as a whole on our website, tothetwincities.com, or you can shoot us an email directly to info@tothetwincities.com, as well as everybody on the team has their own respective email addresses, just their name at tothetwincities.com. They'll tell you about that as we go. We are talking Woodbury. I think before we dive into that, we're going to go to Steve. Steve's going to talk market update for the general Twin Cities area. The market is dynamic. It's ever changing. It's also potentially as strange or like daunting or I guess uncertain to
hard
people.
To wrap your arms around.
Yeah, and the strangest it's been for a long time. So that's frankly, I don't usually like market updates, but I do think in these lives, and I think the way Steve presents it, it's helpful, and obviously I hope it's helpful to a lot of people watching this. But you good? Should we just go over to it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay,
cool. Thank you, Jesse. My name is Steve Wilk. I can be reached at steve@tothetwincities.com. My Instagram is Steve Wilk Realtor. My phone number, if you have any questions or like to follow up on anything that I'm about to talk about, or if you're interested in working with me, 763-360-9291. Feel free to call or text anytime. We're talking general market update right now. If you are familiar with these lives that we do, you might recognize this graph. Paul, if you would hit me, please. That I have been utilizing the last couple weeks to kind of give our viewers here an idea of what's happening in the market and specifically with showing activity. We figured that this would be a really good way to kind of gauge how competitive it is currently for home buyers. We do work with majority buyers, like Jesse was saying, relocations, first-time home buyers. We do help sellers as well, but as of right now, majority of our clients are buyers. So if this
channel is for the buyers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So buyer focused. We're looking at showing activity because we feel like that's the best way to kind of illustrate how competitive it is out there at any given time. This graph that we're looking at right now, this is actually last week's. We talked about how there was actually a decrease in the total amount of showings from the week previous to last week. Anybody in the room here want to guess if it went back up? Did it stay the same? Did it go down?
Went up.
Possible.
I saw it.
Saying went up. Okay. Jesse is correct. It actually did go up. So the total number of showings in the Twin Cities went up by about close to 1,900 showings. So we have closed the gap quite a bit from where we were last week compared to 2 weeks ago. So a lot more showings this last week. Still quite a bit down from, so gray bars are this year, the blue bars are the same week in 2022. So as you can see, in pretty much every price range, it's a decrease from where we were at last year. But compared to last week, we have gone up. One thing I wanted to point out, our first-time home buyer, kind of biggest chunk of the market, saw a very significant increase. That's that $300,000 to $400,000 price range. Saw a big jump in the amount of total showings. It went up about 600 showings, which is considerable from this week to last week. So just wanted to point that out. So showings, we're seeing more total showings than we saw last week. Now, the other thing that we like to look at too is new listings, because that affects how much availability, how many homes there are for these buyers to go out and see. We're actually down this week compared to this week last year by 37.8%. If you're looking at the total showing percentage, we're down this week this year to this week last year, 31.8%. So you'll notice that the amount of new listings, the decrease is actually greater than the amount of total showings, which tells me that this week new listings are down more than total showings compared to last year, which means it's actually more competitive for buyers who are focusing on those newly listed homes because of that disparity. So just wanted to point that out. I also, on this general market update, wanted to chat a little bit about what's happening with median sales price in the Twin Cities. We're looking at this graph here. So I'll try to make sense of this as coherently as I can. These three bars show median sale price for February of 2023, 2022, and 2021. The increase in median sale price in homes in the Twin Cities in February jumped up only by 0.5% from February of last year. To put that into some context, the jump from 21 to 22 February was 8.3%. So we're starting to see that median sale price is starting to level off. It's not increasing the way that it has in years past, and this is further illustrated by the jump, or actually the more correctly said, the stabilizing of median sale price from January to February of this year. If you see on this chart right here, January 2023, median sale price $342. February, it actually dropped by $150. It went from $342 to $341, $850. So just about exactly the same. Again, to put that into some context, if we look at the previous year, the jump from January to February, it was about an increase of 7,000 in median sale price. So this year, no increase, actually a slight decrease. Last year was an increase from January to February of $7,000 in median sale price. So we are starting to see it level off and stabilize. Just for a little bit more context, I looked up the median sale price of everything that's sold in the Twin Cities just last week. So we have some March data to just kind of look at, compare to. The March data from this year, just this last week, we'll have more comprehensive data when those numbers come out once the month is finished. But the median sale price that I found of last week was $355. If we look at March 2022, median sale price was right there at $355, so no increase compared to last year. So further evidence that we are starting to see median sale price kind of even out and stabilize a little bit in the Twin Cities. It'll be really interesting, in my opinion, to see where this goes as we get into the real heart of the spring market, where, as you see, if you look back in the spring months of 2022, how greatly the median sale price increased. March to April, 355 to 370. April to May, 370 to 375. May to June, got all the way up to 380. So we'll see what happens this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously been a crazy year in real estate, but the pressures that are being put on the market through lack of inventory are kind of undeniable, so.
And I should say, this all comes down to what happened with interest rates. Really, we say it every time we do these lives, but that is kind of like, what is the biggest thing that changed between this time this year and this time last year is that interest rates have kind of been all over the place. I haven't checked within the most recent week, but
They're jumping though.
Yeah.
They're moving.
so, it's kind of the same old story, but it's interesting to see how that increase in interest rates is affecting the market.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all right, so now we will dive into Woodbury. I guess before that, I'd like to say that if there's any real estate agents out there who are watching this and you're interested in joining a team who's into video and focused on social media, get a hold of me, info@tothetwincities.com, and yeah, let me know. We're taking on new agents, maybe not to be involved in this YouTube channel, but we have a lot of resources available here in this shop. By the way, this is like our new office. I guess we've shot here like 3 weeks now, and yeah, there's just a lot of resources here for agents. And yeah, if that is you, hello. Or if you're interested in joining Real Broker as a whole, whether you're in Minnesota or elsewhere, again, get a hold of me. Would love to be able to help you make some decisions there. So, Paul, could you pit me? All right, we are talking Woodbury. Woodbury is about as far east as you can go in the metro, short of like the riverfront suburbs, cities, towns. Definitely not cities. Towns like Afton, Lakeland. Yeah, Bayport, Stillwatery, but it is way over here on the east of St. Paul, and a pretty good hike from a lot of St. Paul, and it is a pretty sizable landmass. I'd be willing to bet that it's in like the, top 10 in overall landmass of suburbs. I don't have that data, but I think that's true.
Interesting to look up.
Get on that.
Bloomington is the largest by landmass, more so than Minneapolis or St. Paul, which I find
Really?
interesting. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But obviously by population they're greater. But Woodbury pretty huge. Yeah, I'd be interested to see. So it's arguably a third ring suburb. You have kind of Maplewood in there. And yeah, I guess second ring suburb, but it doesn't really get any further out. That's basically the eastern edge of the metro, short of where it becomes pretty rural before the likes of Afton and the river. We're going to talk about kind of all of the amenities and suburban access that you have living in Woodbury, but we've now done 2 virtual tours on Woodbury. And it's just a lot to cover. The schools are amazing. Alex will get to that. Alex will dive into that much deeper. There's a lot going on there in the schools. The houses are beautiful. The neighborhoods are like designed in a very nice way. And yeah, it's last week we did Oakdale. Oakdale's tiny in comparison, and I guess, maybe not tiny, but about half the size, if not a little bit less. And a lot of the suburban amenities of the likes of Oakdale or Maplewood would actually be in Woodbury. So very much like a retail core to those eastern suburbs. Same with Lake Elmo, and probably even Stillwater. You'd probably go to Woodbury for certain things. What do you say, Nick? You ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, Nick's going to dive into
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle. We're doing it a little bit differently this week.
Sure. What? Yeah. Go ahead.
We're going to get everything done. How's it going, everybody? Nick, host here. Nick at To The Twin Cities is how you can reach me via email, and Twin Cities Nick on Instagram, or call me, text me, whatever works best, at 612-708-8910. Awesome. So Woodbury, like Jesse mentioned, to the south of Oakdale is the ultimate suburb, in my opinion. I think many of these fellows would agree. It's probably one of, if not the most self-contained suburbs in the metro. What I mean by that is, if you need it, if you want it, it is likely there from an amenity standpoint. There are some real heavy hitters in Woodbury. I'm gonna do a little bit of jumping around on Google Maps here shortly, but I'll just name a few for you. So you've got both Costco and Sam's Club. You've got a Whole Foods. You've also got Portillo's, for those of you that may be moving here from Chicago.
Chicago dog, love them.
Yeah. There's a Cabela's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Home Depot, you name it. So all that is to say that it's a nice place to live, and a lot of those businesses take their business to areas that are desirable. So it's a really awesome suburb. All right, let's see. So can you guys pit me, actually? Paul? Am I live? Cool. So as you can see, the way that Woodbury is kind of laid out is almost in quadrants. You've got Radio Drive here running through kind of the western, 2/3 of it, and then Woodbury Drive going through the kind of the eastern side. As you'll notice in the kind of northwestern quadrant here, we've got all of our commercial amenities. I'm not even going to name everything, but you can just kind of see from some of the drop pins here for the businesses. All of your amenities are going to be kind of in the northwest corner, and then you've got all these beautiful bodies of water, park space, kind of scattered throughout down in the southeastern side. So from a lifestyle perspective, you're going to be able to do everything that you need to do whilst being in Woodbury. And as it relates to a lot of the neighborhoods and housing stock, you'll have a lot of neighborhoods with, what would you call them, plaques out front.
Yeah.
Woodbury Villas, Woodbury Estates.
Stone Mill Farms.
Yeah.
As you see right on the map
Yeah.
there.
You can see those all around here. And the cool thing about Woodbury, by and large, the majority of the inventory was built basically later than 1985. And the neighborhoods that these lie in are, like Jesse mentioned, constructed in a very particular way. Most of them have either a pond or some type of park with a jungle gym and maybe a baseball field in legitimately almost every neighborhood. All of them have sidewalks or walking trails that you could even travel into the adjacent developments. So it's very much like the, I don't know if you'd call it like a utopian dream, but it's the pinnacle of suburbia. So
Yeah, suburban dream maybe.
yeah, suburbia, not utopia. Bad word for it. But so the cool thing about Woodbury, like I mentioned as well, you've got all your commercial amenities to the northwest, and then if you want to stay within the city limits, you can kind of bop over here to the east. There's a couple of lakes that you can enjoy, kind of like the chain of lakes that all flank Woodbury Drive here. So there's plenty of park space. And let's see here. Yeah, there's plenty of healthcare options in here as well. I mean, what more is there to say? I mean, you guys have anything to add?
I mean, a lot of golf courses from what I see, but yeah, the community is with like the kind of the planned communities, I guess, is probably the most accurate way to put it. Very, very prevalent in Woodbury.
Yeah, Prestwood Golf Club's really nice. Also, Eagle Valley's kind of over here. I do have some links as well, actually. So where'd you go? So Tamarack Village up here, which is just off of Highway 94, is kind of like the largest commercial hub here. And then I pulled up a photo. It actually has its own website here. Is this showing right now? Tamarack Village. This is the epitome of Woodbury. If y'all can see that, tree-lined boulevards. It's just a really nice spot. Lots of great infrastructure as well as far as roads. And some great schools in there as well, which you've already mentioned. I'm gonna bop back over to Google Maps if I can find it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much more else to add. It's just a really nice place to be, and the proximity to the cities. Sure, you can see that it's kind of a little bit more on the east side here, but it's pretty close to St. Paul. And then if you were to take 494 over to the western side of the metro, it's a little bit of a jog, but it's not terrible. You could get to Minnetonka in maybe like 35 minutes or so. 40 minutes maybe on a snowy day. So
That seems generous, but
well, if you drive like me, then it's doable.
It's. I think one of the cons of Woodbury is that it's pretty removed. You're kind of. I guess it's the pro as well. That's something people like a lot about it as well, is that there's not a whole lot of a reason to go through Woodbury unless you're going to Woodbury.
Or you live there.
growing up in Apple Valley, I don't think I can't remember a time I ever went to Woodbury.
Right. It's like you. There's nothing on the other side other than maybe Afton Alps. Like
Kind of like an island. That's why I said it's very self-contained.
Yeah.
Which is why it's a good thing that there's so much there.
right. It's like part of what makes it peaceful is that there's not people like traveling through it. Right. Like Nick and I did Blaine today. There's Highway 65 right through the middle of Blaine, and that adds a little bit of like a commotion to that area. Whereas Woodbury does not have that. It has 94 to the north, and that's pretty much it. And as you get further, south and further east in Woodbury, it gets there's less and less of a likelihood of anybody ever just like wandering through it, unless they were just driving around Woodbury. But there's no destination on the other side of it. You want to pip this maybe? This is just B-roll. This is from our Experience Woodbury video. You'll find like Woodbury, I think has a bouginess, right? I don't know if you talk about that at all.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there's
true.
there's like an upscaleness, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think like a weatherman lives in Woodbury.
Kind of goes with the planned community thing, the prevalence of that style of neighborhood.
Yeah, and very intentional, right? And very new. Again, you mentioned that, right? Like the housing stock is almost entirely 2000 or newer.
And you'll see that when I do my picks too.
Yeah.
In regard to the bouginess, if you will.
Yeah.
Median age of homes in Woodbury is 1999. So
Yeah.
and there's a lot that was in the late 90s all the way through the 2000s.
The commercial spaces, it's like it feels very, very new on the whole. The commercial spaces feel very, very new. And again, bougie, it's not a derogatory term. It's just like upscale, right? There's like an elegance and a classiness to a lot of the spaces, a lot of the like stores and such that are in within. I mean, that Cane's looks like nicer, like
Good looking Cane's.
Yeah, it's a sharp looking Cane's. The Target is immaculate, but yeah, it is like on the whole extremely new. You have just a lot
of people just like going about their business. Like I said, the people that are doing things there live there. A lot of them work there. 3M is nearby in Maplewood, and they employ a lot of people. I've personally helped a handful of folks that transferred here from out of state to work at 3M and landed in Woodbury. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
and like we'll talk about home prices and stuff in your Nick's picks, and it's the floor to get into Woodbury, unless you're maybe in a townhome, is like pretty high. Even the townhomes are pretty high.
Yep.
And I think a lot of that, schools are a huge driver. The newness of homes is a huge driver. Which, by the way, maybe Alex should get over here to do.
Let me jump in and do just the market in Woodbury real quick. It won't take long.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's Alex jump in, and then we can talk the market in Woodbury. But yeah, just keep watching some of this beautiful bean footage, which handiwork of Paul, by the way. Yeah, like really. I mean, yeah, all of the commercial spaces are so nice. Whereas again, we were at Blaine today. It's like Blaine has like these like 60s, 70s, 80s like strip malls that just like, they feel very dated now. And so much of what they have here, even the oldest, stores in Woodbury still feel quite new and quite sort of like shiny by comparison. But okay, talking just the market. Okay.
Just a quick market for Woodbury, just to give the folks here some idea of what the housing stock is like. So one of my favorite ways to do this is to just look at what sold between right now and January 1st of 2022. In Woodbury, there was 1,382 homes sold. I think that's the most of any of the places that we've looked at since we've been doing these lives. So lots of housing stock. Like Jesse was mentioning, the area is pretty large. And as I was mentioning, median age of homes is 1999.
I hired that guy. And that guy.
Single family homes, so of that 1382, 828 were single family homes, pretty strong majority there. Townhomes, 497, still quite a few. Condos, practically none, 20. And then twin homes, we always have to look at too, 37. So yeah, median age, 1999. Let's take a look at median sale price. Median sale price for all homes in 2022 was $445,000. One of the only places that we've seen where the list price never was eclipsed by the close price, except for this year. If you look at 2023, it has considerably. Obviously, small sample size, it being only mid-March, but I want to just go back and look at what just single-family homes are in Woodbury, because I think that's going to drag up the median quite a bit. So if you're looking at just single family homes, it's just about $600,000 for median sale price of what sold last year, $580. And that, if you go back to 2018, it was $400. So, almost a $200,000 increase between 2018 and 2022. But yeah, if you look at the graph here, it never did the median sale price overcome the median list price, which is kind of interesting because a lot of the places that we've looked at, it has happened in the last handful of years, 2020, 2021, 2022.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious your thoughts on, we always tell people that once you get above 600, that dynamic starts to change, right? The listing at a competitive list price with the hopes of getting 10 offers starts to dissipate. Once you're above 600, you don't do that quite as much. So you more so go, here's the price, and you wait for that price.
It's a great point. Yeah, the higher the median sale price, obviously the higher the list price is going to be. And when that happens, there's less competition for those homes. If you want to pit me here a quick, Paul, I don't know if I'm pit, but I love this graph. This shows the percentage of showings in every price range. That 500 to 600 range, only 7.7% of the market is shopping in that range. That's the median sale price range for Woodbury, for single family homes anyway. So yeah, it's a lot different than, for example, a place where I live, where the median sale price is between 300 and 400, where that's the most competitive part of the market in terms of showing.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the luxuries of being in the higher end of the market is while you're paying more, the competition is less, so it's a little less of a headache to
you don't have to fight
shopping.
Tooth and nail and sacrifice on terms, price being one of the main ones, but also inspection, appraisal guarantee, those types of things. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's really interesting. That's what you have for the market update, right? That's
okay.
All I got.
Cool. Well, Alex, you want to do schools?
Yep.
All right.
Dive in.
Alex, schools.
Cool.
Let's go.
Hey guys, Alex here. Going to be talking about Woodbury Public Schools. As always, if you have any questions specifically with schools in Woodbury or any other school or just pretty much any other question in general, feel free to reach out to me. My number is 952-446-5604. You can also shoot me an email at alex@tothetwincities.com. So let's jump in, talk about Woodbury schools. Woodbury is in the South Washington County School District. That's ISD 833. There are 16 elementary schools, 4 middle schools, and 3 high schools. So huge school district. One of the elementary schools is actually a Spanish immersion school called Nuevas Fronteras. They have a whole Spanish immersion pathway from that elementary school to Woodbury Middle School to Woodbury High School. So great opportunity for for kids to learn Spanish, basically. 4 middle schools and then 3 high schools. So talk a little bit about the high schools here. Most students, well, let me take a step back here. There's East Ridge High School, Woodbury High School, and Park High School. So most high school students will either attend East Ridge or Woodbury High School, for the reason mostly being that those 2 schools are like actually in Woodbury. Park High School is actually further south. It's more in the Cottage Grove area. But those are the kind of 2 main high schools that I think most students will attend. We'll start with East Ridge. Overall, A on niche.com, great academics, roughly about 2,000 students. And fun fact, East Ridge was built after Woodbury High School and Park High School because that area was so overcrowded. So I think that also goes to show, how desirable of an area Woodbury is, as we were kind of talking about earlier. East Ridge, also very esteemed STEM program, plenty of opportunities to earn college credit, and over 60 different clubs. So yeah, great program they have there. Woodbury High School, talk about that now. Overall A on niche.com as well. Also roughly about 2,000 students. Again, Woodbury High School is the high school that continues the Spanish immersion program through that elementary school and through Woodbury Middle School. Woodbury High School is also the only school in that district, and it might be one of the only schools in that general area in the East Metro that offers junior ROTC courses, which I thought was interesting. Also opportunities for college credit, and also fun fact about Woodbury High School, they offer a course where students can go work in an auto shop on cars, which I have not heard of before, but I know I've had a lot of friends that are really interested in cars and would have loved to have that class.
That used to be a thing more often, but they stopped doing it because it's dangerous or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they're doing it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
52 clubs, 29 varsity sports and activities. Again, academics at East Ridge and Woodbury High School are very top tier, and I'll get to that again in a bit. Last but not least, Park High School, overall B- on niche.com, so a little bit lower ranked than East Ridge and Woodbury High School. Also roughly about 2,000 students, so give or take depending on the class size, but Park High School is an IB World School, International Baccalaureate. I think I'm saying that right. Bachelorette? I don't think it's bachelorette.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah. But basically means they offer academically challenging and balanced programs that prepare high school students for success in college and in life. AP and other college credit opportunities, as most high schools offer. They also offer trade and industry programs, giving students access to wood shops, small engines, metal labs, stuff like that, which I haven't seen too often in the school districts that I've researched. Having trade programs and again having an auto shop course at Woodbury High School that's offered. So some unique opportunities for students at South Washington County School District. Yeah, that kind of wraps it up for high schools. I mean, there is so much information provided on the South Washington County School. It's so WashCo, that's how it's abbreviated, so I'm just going to say that, save my breath a little bit. But there's so much information provided on their website that I literally would not have enough time to go through everything. They have specific information on every elementary school, every middle school, and every high school, which is not normally the case, but it made it very easy for me to do some research. And I think it goes to show how thorough and organized the Woodbury School District is.
Sure, clearly high priority.
Very high priority, and they also do an incredible job of recognizing students' academic success and athletic success, and they really have a lot of pride in their students and make sure that they are recognized for their achievements, which is really cool to see. I actually had a couple links that I think would be probably worthwhile to check out real quick. Let me just type it up. Was that the link I sent? Oh, perfect. Okay. That's all good.
You want to vamp here, Jesse, quick?
Yeah. Let's check out some B-roll. Some of Woodbury will go to Stillwater High School also. Not a huge portion, but yeah, like
I did see that.
a northeastern-ish portion, and maybe not even all the way east, but yeah, which also very good schools. You know, Stillwater has great schools as well.
And Minnesota has open enrollment where you can pretty much attend any school you want, even if you're out of the school district.
Yeah.
Granted, you might not have transportation
Right.
as readily accessible, but that is a thing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Not in every state, which is kind of cool.
There's deadlines for that, I'll add. I don't know if
Yeah. If you don't know that, a lot of the deadlines for next year are already passed. Like you gotta be ahead of the curve on that for sure.
a lot of them do offer bus stops that you can bring your children to as well if there's room on the route.
Yeah. Which is.
So you have to piggyback onto school sponsors.
Yeah. You ready to go for more?
Yeah.
All right.
We got this pulled up.
Okay.
So yeah, real quick, I just wanted to kind of describe how detailed their website was. I mean, so much information to go through. Every single elementary school has information, and it's not just copy pasted over. There were a few unique things to certain schools that weren't provided in other schools, or maybe they are and they just didn't mention it. But it's worth a look if you're interested in learning more about that. Same with the middle schools. Same with the high schools. So just again, so much information that I would not be able to cover all in one video. The other thing I wanted to talk about, they had a boundary map website, so you can filter based on elementary schools. You can go in the top right, you can do middle schools, and you can do high schools. So you'll see that the Park High School, I think it's actually like kind of over in this area, but a lot further south. Woodbury is further north up here. That's why, I think generally speaking, most students attend those high schools. Though their websites were also, even though they all fall under SoWashco, but those websites are actually a little bit more put together, organized than maybe the Park High School was. So maybe that speaks a little bit to which high schools are better in terms of academics, but I think overall, they are doing pretty good.
Did you say Park got a B- on Niche?
Park did get a B- on Niche.
I found that surprising.
Yeah, I did too. That might be, again, part of the reason that most students attend Woodbury or East Ridge High School, maybe just better academics. But from things I was reading, it seems like they were all pretty solid high schools. Location can also be a factor in that.
Yeah, I wonder, is that close? Is that in the southern edge? Do you know
Park
where
is the south.
Yeah. Closer to Cottage Grove.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes like an older-ish part of Woodbury. Yeah. But what's interesting is even Cottage Grove has access to Woodbury schools sometimes. So, yeah.
Yeah, we don't need a PIP anymore. I'm just going to talk about a couple other things. So I always talk about athletics, extracurriculars, these being about 2,000 students per high school. There's naturally going to be, more athletic teams and competition between students for the teams, but they're ultimately going to compete at a higher level, and they do. I mean, from what I was reading, their athletic teams, but also a lot of their extracurricular teams are consistently competing at the state level. Their debate team, Science Olympiad, mock trial, and speech team are, very highly rated at the state level. I think they had like 17 students from their speech team go to state, which was unheard of. They all went in 1 year, so
Dang.
Woodbury is very strong on the academic front. yeah, like I said earlier, Woodbury High School in particular, did a really great job of recognizing their students' achievements. Pretty much every sporting club imaginable at East Ridge and at Woodbury High School. Woodbury High School even has a Super Smash Bros. Brawl team. You cannot make this up. Yeah,
The
crazy.
inside kids.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, Park High School, all the sports, all the activities. And yeah, last but not least, I thought it was worth mentioning that all three of these high schools compete in the Suburban East Conference Athletic District. And I'm saying this because it includes Cretin-Durham Hall, Forest Lake High School, Irondale High School, Mounds View, Roseville, Stillwater, and White Bear Lake, in addition to the Woodbury High Schools. If you're familiar with Minnesota, you'll know that those high schools are not relatively close to one another. They're actually quite spread out. So just something to keep in mind, if you're attending, or if you know someone that goes to East Ridge High School and they have an athletic event, across, the state in White Bear. I guess not across the state.
But a ways away.
Quite a ways away. It's not going to be the same as living in the West Metro, maybe going from like Wayzata to Minnetonka, like an easy 20-minute drive. You might be driving 30, 40 minutes to get to an athletic event, which, can add up for sure, especially if you're going to like Mounds View or, Mounds View to Woodbury. So, yeah, just thought it was worth mentioning. But all in all, I think it's most important to remember that, Wasco School District, super solid academics. It kind of goes hand in hand with the quality of life there. There are naturally going to be really good schools, and I think enough said there. I think
Cool.
kind of good. So
Yeah.
Back to you, Jesse.
Cool. I think that was great. Should we go to Amber? Amber's kids. Amber kid stuff. Yeah, let's go.
Amber Rhodes. If you want to know more about me and work with me, my email address is amber@tothetwincities.com. All right, let's dive in. So Woodbury, Minnesota has so many great things to offer for the kiddos and the whole family. We're going to start with something that's happening this Saturday, March 25th. It is for ages 1 to 6. It's $10 to pre-register. It is the awesome Easter egg hunt. This is located at the Woodbury Playground at 2695 Ojibwe Drive. Do you remember how much fun it was to go on those Easter egg hunts and find the little treasures in those eggs? Oh my gosh, so many fun memories. So bring your own basket or your bag and find the eggs hidden all over the playground. The session that you're registering for includes the egg hunt around the playground. It also includes photos with the spring bunny and a spring themed craft. How can you beat that? They want you to arrive a little bit early and also bring your own camera. So go check that out. Another thing that's right around the corner, believe it or not, is summer. Registration for summer camps is happening right now. So check that out. There are 4 summer camps. One of them is kind of year round in Woodbury. The first one is called Camp Carver. It's a summer day camp with classic activities such as swimming and outdoor games and crafts. They have full and half day activities available. Kid Create Studio, also full half day or mini camps available. This one sounds like a little bit more of like a creative camp. And then Merrill Art Center is for the theater buff or the more outgoing children who kind of want to get to know a little bit more of that. It's an art education camp for various levels, from superhero camp to theater intensive. So if your kids are into superheroes, that might be something you want to check out. I just always remember going, man, summer camp sounded so fun to do those crafts and kind of like have a day to like be away from your parents and make some cool stuff to show and tell when you get home. The last summer camp, which is also year round, is called High Five. Its core focus is a multi-sport summer camp, but it also has, essentially year-round activities as well. They provide leagues, camps, classes, parties for all different levels of fun, more sports-centered, more teamwork-centered, and very like positive reinforcement. So if your kids are into sports, go check that one out. All right, this next one you guys know I'm a big fan of already. We talked about this in Eden Prairie, but in Woodbury, they have their own Conquer Ninja Warrior gym. These are training for Ninja Warrior and also just obstacle courses, something to do to be physically active, to challenge yourself. They're for ages 5 and up to adults. They do have full-size and smaller scale obstacles. Trainers have background in obstacles, and also some of them have been seen on the Ninja Warrior show. So if your kids are into that, they're really gonna love this. This next one, obviously I'm a big fan of because it's nature, but this is something you can bring your whole family to. Your leash dogs are welcome. So this is called the Tamarack Nature Preserve. It's a rare wetland that's right in the heart of the Twin Cities, which is really cool. It has floating boardwalks, it has wetland trails. It's kind of a nice escape from the busy world of, work and school and all this sort of stuff. Like, get the kids, get away from the screens, and just go check out nature. It's beautiful. You can go year round. And another thing I love is seeing the wildlife that you're not expecting. I remember walking on one of the floating boardwalks, and I looked to my right, and there's a snake, but it was really cool. And, it was, swam right away in the water, but it was beautiful to see. So go check that place out. And last but not least is the Woodbury Community Theater. This is located at the Old Historic Town Hall. The community theater was founded in 2013 in response to the community's expressed desire for quality live theater. This is a nonprofit, all volunteer run, so go see a show with the whole family and support the local community as it's a nonprofit. You can check out all of the current shows that they have on their website and all of their past shows as well. All right, guys, that's all we got for kid activities for Woodbury, and back to you.
Sweet. Thank you, Amber. If you want to work with Amber, email her at amber@tothetwincities.com. And I hope that was helpful. Now we are going to go back to Nick for Nick's picks, where basically we're changing this up. I think this is a good way of doing it, but basically where you're just looking at homes within the boundaries of Woodbury, as that is the topic of the day. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Hello, everyone. It's me again. All right, so we're going to hop right in. Again, Woodbury is quite large, so I was able to actually find different properties for all of my usual price tiers. So that being said, our first one here, if y'all can see it, is a 2-bed, 2-bath townhome. Jesse mentioned earlier, we've kind of been chatting here and there about the different housing stock. This is typically what you're going to get for 300 or below in Woodbury. Is a very nice townhome. And again, 1999 is the median build age. This one was built in 2004. So we've got 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,658 square feet, if I hadn't mentioned that already. One thing worth noting, I know a lot of people have concerns with HOA fees, rightfully so. So just to give a little bit of feedback with this one here, you've got $298, that's a monthly fee. And for this property specifically, that's going to include the exterior, outside maintenance, management. There's a shared amenity center, recreation facility, sanitation, so garbage and recycling, and snow removal. So it does include a good amount. So
And 300 or 298, I guess, is kind of right around
Yeah.
the range for this priced home.
yeah,
I think, what is it, 1/1000th of the
roughly.
price is what we're looking for in terms of
There's
the monthly.
Yeah. There tend to be tiers for HOAs with different property types. I would say condos are usually the highest, but they're often full service buildings. Then you've got townhomes and villa homes that are going to be a little bit lower than that. And then oftentimes, which I'll get to perhaps later here, is a lot of the newer build communities do have HOAs, but they're pretty negligible, all things considered. The homeowner still has to do most of the maintenance of the property and all that, but they'll clear the sidewalks and the roads, and that's pretty much where the buck stops. I think you still might have to get private sanitation for some of them.
Somebody's got to maintain that sign when you're entering the
Yeah,
building.
yeah, exactly. For Woodbury villas. All right, so let's jump into some photos. 2-car garage that is attached. You've got a little bit of driveway there. 2004, baby.
Oh yeah,
At its finest.
Screaming 2004.
Yeah, got that honey.
Except for that blue wall, I must have. That's a custom job.
There's more. But it's a nice place. You got the little peninsula to gather around, some bar seating there. You do have a little formal dining area. You can see there they've got it set for 4 and more blue walls and more blue walls. This little type of entertainment, I don't know what you would call it, wall, alcove, very common when tube TVs were just kind of finally dying or, gasping their last breaths.
Yeah, that square that is
Yeah.
only made for a TV to
Yeah.
fit into.
Yeah,
above
or
the fireplace.
perhaps like a vase or something with some flowers. I don't know. Got the nice gas insert there. It's a nice open layout. Powder room. This is actually at the top of the stairs on the second level. You'll see in the next photo, but they've got a long rod there that they probably put a curtain up for, but it's kind of like a bonus loft space, which this is kind of around the time when they started doing those things.
Sure, great for an office. It looks like they've tried to make this into a kid's bedroom.
Well, especially considering a lot of these townhome properties, you walk in on the garage level, so it's built on a slab, so you typically only have the one main living space, so it's kind of nice to have that. Other than that, pretty straightforward with the bedrooms. Nothing fancy, but for $300,000, you can see there's the primary bedroom there. It looks like a king bed to me, and then you've got 2 desks. So walk-in closet.
Space. This is like
And an ensuite.
like perfect, like first-time buyer.
Yeah, 300 grand, and it's almost 1,700 square feet. That's a pretty substantial amount of space. I mean, look at the closet there. Pretty clean laundry room. Wouldn't you
Not
say?
bad. I'd maybe
Not
tidy
bad.
that up a little bit.
It was pretty tidy, man. Throw some butcher block on top
Get
of
those
this.
baskets off the top of those things, just for pictures. I know people gotta live.
One thing worth noting in Woodbury, which I think we also mentioned in our VT, is the fact that given the median age of these homes, a lot of them are starting to kind of approach that furnace and original mechanicals are kind of getting there.
That's
So,
a great point. That looks like a 2004 furnace to me.
So they do have perhaps some life in them, but that's something to consider when buying in these places where the communities are just starting at 25, 30 years of age.
Great point.
Yeah. The roofs are typically maintained by the HOA in these, so not a huge deal. But yeah, and then you've got a little porch out front. It's a cutie. All right.
Very nice.
Yeah, so next one we're going to jump over to is, give me just a second. Boo. Stop. Be nice. I'm just pulling it up right here. Okay, so this is going to be in the 300 to 550 range. This is a beautiful detached single family. It's a 2-bed, 3-bath. As you can see, we're at $530,000 for just under 1,800 square feet. So, a little bit pricey, but you got a lot of this in talking about the newness of these homes. Let's see here if there's anything else worth.
You said that was a 23 build?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And this is built. It's not a to-be built, which you'll see a lot. Association fee on this one is $190 monthly. So again, to my point earlier with the single family detached, you'll still get some of these HOAs over here. It's definitely a newer thing. And more or less, it's the same.
This one says it has got lawn care though.
Yeah, okay. Lawn care, other
Yeah.
professional management.
Super detailed. Snow removal, that's not bad.
Yeah.
For a single family home.
No, not at all. Which is it might be for the sidewalk though. My parents live in Victoria, and the snow removal in their HOA is suspect. My dad shovels the driveway more than he would like. At any rate, beautiful place. Obviously got the open layout. Double vanity.
Very new buildy.
Yeah.
But looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's the builder
I like
special,
that,
but
yeah.
a lot of the things with a lot of the attractiveness of new build homes that I've seen people talk about and heard people talk about is the layouts make so much sense.
Yep.
The efficiency
Huge
of the
closets,
homes,
relatively
from like
speaking.
an insulation standpoint, windows, all the above is just top notch.
I like that wood ceiling.
Yeah, it's nice. Little office off the main. So, and a lot of these homes have the bed count, and they'll have an office off the front like this, but they won't actually count it in the bed count. And a lot of folks that we're doing with these days with the prevalence of work from home are looking for that. They'll sauce on, or, this amount of bedrooms plus an office would be better versus just like 4 raw bedrooms. And
4
then
bed is the new 3. I heard
Seriously.
someone say that.
The reason why I picked this one as well is because, as you can see, it has a massive unfinished basement. So there's plenty of room to add value over time if you plan on being there for a number of years. Because a lot of what I've looked at in Woodbury that is similar build date is what we call a patio home or a villa home, basically a detached single family built on a slab. So it's nice to be able to have the basement, because I know especially a lot of our folks that are moving here from the West Coast are stoked about the basements. So cool. There you have it, folks. All right, moving to our third home here, and this is kind of starting to really speak to that bougie element of Woodbury that we were talking about earlier. You can see just from the first thumbnail here that it's pretty large. So this one is actually a 2-bed, 3-bath at 3,300 square feet, which is kind of buck wild. So we'll see. 3-car garage as well. And then this one does not have an HOA, I don't believe. Oh, it does. 435, but that's quarterly. Okay. So, you know, a little more palatable. Let's see what that includes.
About $100 a month.
Does include lawn care, professional management, sanitation, and snow removal. So, sweet. Oh, also the year that this one was built, 2002. So kind of in line with our average there. I like this one a little bit more because I don't think that the wood.
I was just about to say it's not honey oak.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of what you would actually find in a lot of the 19 to 1930s homes in Minneapolis.
Looks a little more classic.
Natural. Looks more natural. Like they just added a nice urethane to it.
2-bed, 3-bath, 3,300 square feet is a real lifestyle choice.
Yeah, it is.
Not for everybody.
Look at those rafters, though.
That is cool.
Very
It's
chalet.
a great looking house.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that does look like a ski lodge.
She's a beaut. Also, you'll notice the corner pantry on this one. Started doing that around this time as well. See those in a lot of the 80s and 90s. We'll call them McMansions, endearingly.
Don't love the, I hate to pick it apart, but the stone island and the different colored.
You don't like the granite and then the quartz?
I don't know, man. That's
tearing apart my picks, Steve.
I like this house a lot. In fact, I've liked all your picks, really.
Oh, thanks, man. You don't have to backpedal. Nice sunroom here. What are your thoughts
Great
on that?
laundry.
Yeah, that's nice.
Killer laundry room.
Yeah, but you get the picture. It's a huge house. What's not to like? I'm actually interested to see the garage if we can get to it here. Oh, and a finished basement. Huge finished basement.
Dang.
With a proper billiards room.
Very nice. So much wood.
So much wood. But I'm a fan of wood grain if it's not, kind of a gnarly orangish color. Cool. I'm going to jump to the next one because I feel like y'all get the vibe from this. And our next price point is going to be $750 to $1 million. And here she is in all of her glory. This is a 5-bed, 5-bath, 4,983 square feet. So a proper mansion.
Big.
Huge. 2017 built. It's really nice. I'm a big fan. I like the gabled roofs. You can kind of see all the windows off the back, which I'm a fan of. I'm not exactly...
Great twilight pictures. I don't know if that's a natural sky, but it looks
I think it is
somewhat real. Yeah.
Some bubblegum clouds. Last time we were there, it was like that, remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm speechless.
It's nice. Not as much character as the last one, but
no.
I mean, it's huge.
And it has more bedrooms.
Way more.
Kitchen's fantastic though, and you'll get that a lot in Woodbury. Again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but the fact that they're all so much newer, the functionality of them is very good. We run into that in the cities a lot, the functional obsolescence, where the house itself is beautiful and then you'll have a small kitchen or
tiny closets.
The heating and cooling is something that folks really don't get jazzed about in the cities, especially if the infrastructure is not already there to add it, air conditioning at least.
Is this one over $1 million? Or?
Nope, not quite. 897,000 if I hadn't mentioned it already. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah.
Giant closet. Awesome ensuite.
Yeah. What's not to like? Bougie Woodbury.
Cool.
Woodbury. Which is it, Jesse?
Woodbury.
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 Potato.
That's it?
I got one more.
Okay, one more.
One more. We're going to
Over
$1 million
$1
plus
million?
here. Yeah. Woodbury has hit for the cycle for price points, which can be challenging because some cities it's tough to find something. Like I don't think there was $1 million house in Oakdale, and then you go to the likes.
It was 900,000 in Oakdale.
Yeah. Well, then you go to the likes of, say for example, Wayzata or Edina, and it's very challenging to find something under 6.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of something for everybody. Okay, this last one here, and you may have been able to observe the vibe. A lot of these houses are very similar looking, one just a little bit larger than the next, but that's Woodbury. So 5-bed, 5-bath. This one is almost 6,000 square feet, 2020 build. So we'll keep it brief. I think y'all kind of get the picture, but gourmet chef's kitchen. You can see you got the double ovens there with the cooktop, the pot filler. This one's decked out to the nines. Looks like they've even got like a little butler's pantry area, if you will, kind of in between the dining room and the kitchen itself. Shiplap.
Oh yeah.
Still going strong. I like that it's got the little arch there.
Yeah.
It's a little more interesting than just squared off.
That like ox picture is in like 30%
every new build.
I can't even see what you're looking at. And I know what you're talking about.
Ordered in bulk from either Target or IKEA.
Yeah.
Great photo, but
Nice ensuite.
Little played at this point.
yeah.
This one, the house is so huge that, I mean, the kitchen was very beautiful, but a lot of the rest of the house is kind of builder grade. I mean, it's obviously gorgeous, but you can see it's just got the whole wall mirror. The tile is pretty straightforward. I mean, I think anyone would be happy to have that, but you get my point. Huge lower level. Got the little theater.
Space, nice.
And even the workout room.
Other thing,
And the sport
that
court.
one's got the sport court.
Once you get over $1 million, if it doesn't have a sport court,
You're out of town.
yeah.
One other thing, just point out, with newer homes, you're also going to get newer developments, which means not a lot of trees or vegetation that's like matured, I guess. Which is just, it's not really good or bad. I mean, I think on the whole, people probably prefer, like tree-lined streets and stuff like that. Usually is pretty desirable. In an area like Woodbury, you're going to see less and less of that, just because the developments are, relatively speaking, new.
Especially these new construction ones. Over by Prestwick, we had a client that bought over in there, and those are more of the the house is actually built in 2012, so the trees are looking much better. But to Steve's point, these new construction neighborhoods, they're quite bare. And one thing to consider for that as well is you probably get kind of windy, honestly.
Yeah.
With no trees to block it at all.
A bit exposed.
It's like that out in Victoria, same thing.
Minimal raking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing too, this picture just reminded me of it. These developments, typically the houses are super close together too. So you got a beautiful, $1 million home, awesome finishes, but you could definitely be up close with your neighbors.
And the lots tend to be a little bit deep. Jesse and I were in a similar neighborhood like this up in Blaine. Same thing, the setback to your neighbor is close, but the lots there were nice and deep. You still got the quarter-acre lot, so great for dogs and activities in the yard.
Yeah.
So, this one's just tricked out. I mean, they've got a full
even noticed
outdoor
that.
kitchen. It looks like either a fire pit or a pizza oven.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and look at that yard. Come on.
That does look sweet.
And you'll see that it's wrought iron. A lot of these, with their HOAs or their covenants, whatever you want to call them, for fencing, you're probably going to have to shell out a pretty penny to either get wrought iron or white vinyl. That's typically what I see in HOA documents. Maybe a nice cedar fence, but you need to keep it looking sharp because those will gray over time.
But the reason they do that in the interest of uniformity and trying to keep the a cohesive look to the development, they'll require that if you have a fence, you can have a fence, but it has to be these materials.
They want a kind of homogeneous look. You don't really.
I don't think they're going for the word homogeneous, but I do
Cohesive.
think that, cohesive and
But they want to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just teasing you. That was great.
That's all I've got.
But it's true, right? Like, it's just mostly varying sizes of the same type of house.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, if that's what you're looking for, Woodbury's got it. You've got every option available.
Even the townhomes. I mean,
Yeah.
they all look very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as we're sort of talking about this, it made me think about this video that we just put out on the channel which I guess we can pip. Maybe no sound or no sound. Which is this video of a tour we just did of a new build home by Stonegate Builders in Cottage Grove, which is just to the south of Woodbury. Like really nice new build home, $795 or so. Might be a little bit more if it was technically in Woodbury, but not necessarily like way more. Anyhow, I implore you to check that out if you haven't done so yet. Yeah, we're gonna keep those coming. We have some pretty cool tours coming up, actually, and hopefully you enjoy those. Hopefully you enjoy these lives. Yeah, thanks for watching. We're almost an hour exactly. My name is Jesse Lynch. I run the hardest working real estate team in the game. I'm called To the Twin Cities. You can get a hold of us at tothetwincities.com or shoot us an email directly to info@tothetwincities.com. This has been a live show, clearly quite live, about Woodbury, Minnesota. And yeah, we are your relocation experts. We are first-time home buyer experts, and we will market the heck out of any listing that we get. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Fade to black.